Good morning, team. Thank you for joining. Today's monthly educational piece is going to be about the plague, and it is caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. So today we're going to talk about what it is, who is susceptible, the incubation and infectious period, why is it important to know, and how we will protect ourselves and the community if there was ever an outbreak. So the plague is also otherwise known as the Black Death. It's caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. This disease affects mammals and humans by being bitten by a rodent flea that is carrying this bacterium. And another way to contract this is by handling an animal that is infected with plague. There are three different types, the bubonic, septicemic, and pneumonic plague. So here is a little bit of a history piece. So it's an ancient disease. It's suspected to be behind many historical epidemics that's killed thousands of people. In the past, it was in France and in Spain in 1348. It spread to Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. It wiped out London in 1349 and spread all over to Scandinavia and northern England. To the right here is a picture, and this is actually historical PPE, if you will. And this was worn by plague doctors. It was intended to protect them from airborne disease during outbreaks. It was often seen as a symbol of death and disease. However, the costume was worn by a comparatively small number of medieval and early modern physicians studying and treating plague patients. So the mask that you see here typically had eye openings that were glass, and the beak shape was like a bird's beak, and they would put things in there, aromatic items like flowers, roses, herbs, lavender, and peppermint, thinking that it would help absorb the disease and that they wouldn't be able to receive it and get infected. It was also used to keep away bad smells, and thought the smell was the cause of the disease. So they thought the herbs would counter the evil smells and they wouldn't get infected. So kind of a cool history piece there. So here's a couple pictures of bubonic plague. There's a 2 to 8 day incubation period. Symptoms are listed here below. And it is when you're bit by a flea that's infected, and you usually get swollen lymph nodes from this. Septicemic plague looks a little bit like this, and we're not sure really the incubation period. It's likely days from exposure. Symptoms are similar to bubonic, and bleeding into the skin and organs is another symptom. Skin tissue may turn black, and source is from the bites from infected fleas as well. And then also pneumonic plague. The incubation period is a little shorter of 1 to 3 days, and symptoms are listed here as well. This is the only way that humans can be infected by other humans. So, droplets in the air with the bacterium and then breathing it in is how you would infect others. So who's susceptible? Everyone is the short answer. So no one is safe and everyone's at risk. Here is a slide that kind of shows the circle of how infection can spread. So from rodents to fleas to humans to humans to humans. Incubation period, kind of like what we talked about before, 2 to 8 days or 1 to 3 days, depending on the type. The infectious period is once a human is infected, they are immediately able to infect others. Mortality rates, 66% in the United States. Antibiotics reduce mortality, but they're not 100% effective. So why is this important? Because it's extremely dangerous. Antibiotics are not 100% effective. Everyone is susceptible. So how will we protect our community? We'll educate providers. We'll keep our PPE stocked up, have an emergency preparedness plan written and presented once a year as a refresher. Thank you.